Hey Pixar fans, what's going on? Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com here, back for my long-awaited review of the brand new Mattel Pixar Featured Favorites Figure 2-pack featuring Flik and Dot. This is a big one, guys. There's a lot to cover here today, which is why this review has taken me a little bit longer to get up, so let's just get right into things. First things first, this is available right now at Target, both in-store and online, for $19.99. So it's very accessible, very easy to find right now. I'll go ahead and drop the Target.com link to buy down in the description below for anyone here interested in snagging this up. So this is my 6th Pixar Featured Favorites figure review, so if you've been watching each one over the past few months, you know the drill with these, but if this is your first time coming across this line, here's a quick rundown. In short, these figures are part of Mattel's expansive Pixar 7-inch scale action figure collection. It's just a subcategory, if you will, that's a bit more geared towards slightly older Pixar fans and adult collectors. The line is officially described by Mattel as a curated line for collectors that celebrates the ever-expanding Pixar universe of whimsical, unexpected heroes and funny new friends that have won the hearts of fans for more than 25 years. And that's it! The absolute best part of this line, though, is that it gives Mattel the chance to be a little bit more risky with their character selection and release some more obscure characters from Pixar's older films that today's kids just might not be as interested in. Obviously, some kids are going to be interested in these, but it definitely feels like this line is specifically made for collectors like me who grew up with these films. Plus, at the $20 price point, Mattel is able to add a bit more accessories as well that normally wouldn't be included with the basic core $10 Pixar 7-inch scale figures. By the way, stick around because I'll also be comparing these new 2022 Flik and Dot figures to my original 1998 Mattel Flik and Dot figures. I know that I would want to see that if I was watching this review, so I just had to include that here. So before I take a closer look at the box here and open things up, I just have to say how excited I am, guys, that we finally have new and updated A Bug's Life figures here of these characters after all these years. I absolutely love my collection of Mattel 1998 A Bug's Life figures, don't get me wrong. I have so many amazing memories with them, and you can even check out my home video footage of me opening my hotly anticipated Anthill playset for Christmas 1998 by hitting the card above. I'm 8 years old here in this footage, but I always knew, even as a kid, that they could have been improved to look more like the characters in the film. All of the 1998 Flik figures, as you'll see later in this video, have so many like non-movie, non-canon add-ons and accessories. I always just wanted a Flik with his classic adventure look, with his hat and backpack right out of the movie, and just about 24 years later, Mattel has finally made one of my childhood toy dreams come true. Alrighty, so the box here is fantastic, as it always is with the Featured Favorites line. Nothing new to report on here, but it's a wonderful presentation overall, showcasing the figures and accessories. We got renders of Flik and Dot there in the corner. We got the iconic Bug's Life logo. And then here on the back, we got some solid shots of the figures and some accessory and posability highlights or callouts as usual. And then a look at the other characters from this second wave of featured favorites. There's Crush with Squirt, Mike with Celia, and Bing Bong, all of which I've already reviewed, so be sure to check out those if you haven't already. So yes, this is the last of my Wave 2 featured favorites reviews, the grand finale, and now here's hoping for a third wave. And for anyone who's interested in who's in the first wave, there you go. I've reviewed the Nemo and Ratatouille sets, but Russell and Mrs. Nesbit Buzz are still delayed for whatever reason, so crossing my fingers, they're still happening. Anyway, we got Flik and Dot there again on the side, and yes, my packaging did get a bit beaten up on the way to me since I had originally ordered this through Target.com before I found it in the store, so that's whatever, it is what it is. At least the figures themselves look perfect though, that's what's most important to me. And then moving right along back to the front here. Alright, with all my initial thoughts out of the way, let's get these bugs opened up here. And here they are. Here's a better look of them on the blister, and boy, Mattel does it again. They look extraordinary. This could be my favorite of the Pixar featured favorites yet. I know, A Bug's Life gets a bad rap by a lot of people out there for some reason. I have no idea why. They say it's lesser Pixar, but man, no shame, I love it. Where are my fellow Bug's Life fans? Because I know you are out there. It's one of my personal favorite Pixar films. I think it's so cute and charming, totally classic. But yes, I do admit a lot of my love for it also has to do with nostalgia. I have so many fond memories waiting for the film to come out, being so excited, and watching the trailer over and over again on whatever Disney VHS had it on there at the time. And don't forget, as always, the backdrop is removable. This time we have some classic Bug's Life scenery of Ant Island with the clovers there in the background. And as I always say, this makes for the perfect display backdrop to display your figures loose against. And it's always great for toy photography if you're into that like I am. See, check it out. Here's one of my latest shots using the background, and I think it turned out pretty awesome. Okay, moving right along, I'll be taking a look at the accessories first, starting here with this leaf display stand. If you've been reading or watching my content for a while now, you know that I absolutely love when figures come with bases for that added stability for display, so I was really happy to see that one was included here with the set, since I'm sure these figures will be a little bit more precarious when standing on their own, especially Flik with all his gear on, so good on Mattel for including this. It looks great, fun theming, I like that it's a leaf and not just a basic black stand or something like that. Nice sculpt, good details with the leaf veins and all that, and I appreciate all the different pegs which offer a good amount of placement options there when arranging the figures on this. Solid job. The next accessory is the instantly recognizable blade of grass and bead of dew, right?
Wrong! It is in fact a telescope!
Of course, this is Flik's telescope invention, and another accessory I had always wished was included with the 1998 figures, and now it's here. Once again, it looks really good. I appreciate that we get pegs on either side there that fit into little holes in Flik's hands so that he can hold it that much easier. I'll show you that in a minute, but yeah, it's even open on the end here, so you can actually look into it like a real telescope. Now, obviously, it doesn't actually magnify anything, but it's cool Mattel did this as one of those nice little touches. And next up we have Flik's signature leaf hat, looking awesome and just as it does in the film. And it looks like a tight squeeze, but don't worry, Flik's antennae do fit through here, obviously for him to be able to wear it, which I'll be showing off soon. And the last accessory included here, completing Flik's complete adventure look, is his leaf backpack. Again, looking just as it does in the film, even down to the little nuts or seeds or whatever, which are made to resemble some camping gear like a canteen set. So yeah, well made, well sculpted accessory here. By the way, this piece here is removable. I'm not really sure what you'd really do with it off the backpack, but I did want to let you know that you can take it off if you'd like. And I think that about covers it here with the backpack, so let's move along to the figures here, starting with Dot. I'm just so happy that we finally got a proper articulated Dot action figure here, guys. Though we did get several Mattel Dot figurines back in the day, like one was included in a couple 1998 Bendy figure packs, which, as you saw, is the one that I have here today to compare with this 2022 Dot. Also, there was one in this Big Top Bugs gift set, which I also have. She was also a McDonald's toy, and so on, but she was never included as part of Mattel's main line of action figures, which always kind of bothered me, even as an 8-year-old collector, so I'm thrilled Mattel went ahead and made this one and included her with Flik. She looks really fantastic, honestly, just as I hoped. Dot stands at about 3.5 inches tall. The sculpt captures the character's likeness pretty much perfectly, I'd say. The shade of purple seems spot on, and it's just an overall really well done figure. No complaints. And as far as articulation, both antennae can be rotated all the way around. And this isn't a point of articulation or anything, but I did want to note that her wings are a soft plastic, so they are flexible. And then her head is on a ball joint there, so it can rotate a full 360 degrees and wiggle around a bit, naturally. Both arms there at the shoulders are on ball hinge joints, so they can move up and down and all around. And lastly, the same goes for the legs. You can pose them up. Back is a little restricted, but yeah, then all around as well. And then this also goes for Flik, as you'll see, but it's cool that the figures have those subtle speckled details and a slightly metallic sheen to them, and it's hard to describe, but they also seem to have like a translucent plastic casing around the main body and head of the figures. I think you'll see what I mean when you look closer at them in person, but whatever it is, it makes for a cool, unique look. Oh, and the eyes are digitally printed, and I was also happy to see that Dot can stand on her own as well without the help of the stand, in case you were wondering. Now moving on to Flik, another near perfectly executed figure in my eyes, and again, I'm just so happy to see a new modern and improved Flik figure sculpt that more accurately represents the character. I really like the lighter blue Mattel went with this time, since I always felt the 1998 figure's color scheme was a bit too dark. This color here, I'd say, is definitely more in line with his coloring in the film, so that's great. And again, it's hard to tell, but maybe here you can see that translucent casing the figure seems to be in, as well as the tiny specks and the metallic sheen. Flik here stands at about 6.2 inches tall. Moving on to articulation, just like with Dot, his antennae can be rotated 360. His head is on a ball joint, so it can be rotated all the way around and swivel, which is really nice for some more dynamic poses. Again, hinged ball joints there at the shoulders, so his arms can be moved up and down and all around. They essentially can be posed in any position. And again, it's the same story there at the elbows. At the waist, Flik's torso can be rotated 360. I will say things do feel a little loosey-goosey here at the waist, so we'll see how that affects things when standing him up on and off the base with all his gear on. And then we have hinged ball joints here at the legs, so as usual, they can be posed up, back, and outward. Not to mention they can rotate all the way around. Another hinged ball joint at the knees, which mostly allows for back movement as well as 360 degrees. And then nothing at the ankles. Overall, I am very pleased with this figure. It really has been a long time coming, and well, I'm excited to get all his gear on, so let's get it all on him so we can finally see his complete look here. First up, his hat. Now, it is a tight squeeze for sure. It does take some careful pushing, pulling, and stretching, but it does go on, and it looks excellent as you can see. Next up, his backpack. Again, it did take a little bit of work getting this on since the straps don't pop out or anything. You have to slide his arms in like you would a real backpack, so you kind of have to finagle things a tad, but it's totally fine. It goes on as it should, and this is the final result. It looks so phenomenal, seriously, like he was taken straight out of the film, and again, this is the Flik toy I've always wanted. Lastly, to complete his look here, let's have him hold his telescope. Again, he has little holes in both hands, which is really nice. The telescope, as you saw, has 2 pegs, one on either side, that get inserted into these holes, which helps him hold it securely. So with that, we can either have him hold it in this hand, or my favorite look, with both hands. So cool, guys. I really can't say enough good things about this figure. And check this out, I'm happy to report that Flik can also stand up on his own without the base, which is always a good thing. He can do so without his gear on, and surprisingly, with all his gear on. I honestly thought that that would make things either too back heavy or too front heavy, but hey, look at that. Okay, now just real quick, I wanted to share with you all what this new 2022 Flik, there on the left of course, looks like next to and compared with Mattel's 3 1998 Flik action figures. As you can see, surprisingly, they're about the exact same height, which is pretty cool, but I think it goes without saying that this new Flik is a vast improvement. The original, I guess now considered vintage figures, will always have a special place in my heart, no doubt. They're super special to me, but there's no denying this new modern take is superior, at least in terms of screen accuracy. And then here's my dot comparison. We got the new 2022 dot on the left, and then the 1998 dot that was packed with the bendy figures back in the day there on the right. Again, this new version is a big improvement to say the least, but the vintage dot is still classic and very well done for the time. Now to wrap things up, here are these amazing figures on the leaf stand, complete with all the accessories, and against the included Ant Island backdrop, and all I can say is perfection. When Mattel began this featured favorites line and started releasing characters from older Pixar films that I never thought we'd ever see, honestly and literally, one of my very first thoughts was please do a Bug's Life, please do a Bug's Life, and now here we are. This set is a real thing, guys, and I can't believe it. It's like Mattel was reading my mind all along and gave me exactly what I wanted and, well, what a lot of you out there wanted to see, because I know I'm not the only one. If you're any kind of a Bug's Life fan and or collector, this is seriously a must-have and such a rare treat. Don't even hesitate to pick this set up. For $20, this is, I feel, a great value for what's included. Plus, come on, it's been over 20 years since any of Bug's Life figures like this were made. So if I were you, I'd just run to your nearest Target ASAP or grab them online using my link below. Now, obviously, I wish that all the main Bug's Life characters could get a new modern take, but I know that's not realistic. But if I had to choose one more that I feel is a realistic option for Mattel to make in this line, it would be Hopper. But the real question is, what do you guys think of these figures, and who else would you like to see get made? As usual, I can't wait to hear your thoughts down in the comments, so be sure to hit me up there. Like and subscribe for more Pixar toy news, reviews, and toy hunts. Find me all over social media at Dan the Pixar Fan. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.